Hi, Queen Aset here. I am going to, I decided to make this video to put out some thoughts I had after attending an event today, and I'm not going to go too far into that, but I wanted to speak on a topic that's been getting talked a lot about in the conscious community after the passing of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and the work that we have to do in order for us to ultimately see ourselves as a free people. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some opinions out there for us to challenge some of the ways that we think and do things, and let's just say that I hope it gets somewhere. Nonetheless, okay, so here's the topic on the table of this issue of racism and as a system of white supremacy and how it was created and why it was created. And there's a lot of videos out there on that topic, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time um, explaining that to those who don't already know. Please go look up, do your research, look up Frances Cress Welsing. She's got some great videos you can start with, as well as some others out there. Nonetheless, we know what it boils down to is this idea of genetics, and who is the dominant gene when it comes down to seeing your offspring look like you. And we know that any color, all the brown, yellow, black people have the dominant genes. So we are the largest in numbers, and that presented a specific concern for the white male. So the system of racism was created to be able to combat that. And I once went to church. Yes, I once went to church, for those who know me. One time, and a pastor said something to me that stuck with me, and I think it's a very relevant statement because, people give good messages sometimes that are good no matter who they are. And he said that the best way to keep your enemy from using a weapon against you was to convince them that they didn't have it. So that's what's happened is we've been convinced that we're not the majority, and we've also been convinced that a lot of the things that made us once who we were not good for us. Things from our religion to our diet to all different aspects of life. And so we want to see this system go away. Of course we do. So fight the system, fight white supremacy becomes the message. But because I believe words are powerful, I've always said, we have to be very conscious of how we frame things, and that's something we spoke of tonight in this event that I was at. How powerful our words and how we think. So I'm gonna give us something else that I think would be a better way for us to think about how to eradicate white supremacy. I don't want to see us hated anymore. I want to see us actually love. I want us to love white supremacy. Now, why in all of my righteous mind would I say something like that? Well, I'm going to own it, and I'm going to tell you why I think that that is the best way for us to go. Love is always the answer. In the most difficult of times, love is always the answer. So, there are two main reasons why you can choose to love white supremacy as a black person, as a black woman, as the queen that I am. First, it's an admission of guilt. When they first designed this system, it was after discovering how they were the minority, how white people were the minority. Everywhere else they went. So, that mere fear, the whole reason why you even instituted it in the beginning, is an admission. We are the first and superior race. Well, at least we were. So, that's an admission. That's an admission. And for somebody who is looking for proof, there it is. Second, now, here's where the work comes in. Why should you love it? Love creates a lot of feelings. To be able to truly love something, it has to really be backed by something. So, in order for us to really stand there and have that feeling of love, we have to have some kind of accountability, which means we have to become that superior race that made them fearful in the first place. Because right now, that's really difficult to sell. It's really difficult to believe. Let's be honest. They've done a very good job of stripping us down. And we can talk about all the ways they have done it. And I would love to have those conversations. But right now, we got work to do. So here's the deal. In order for us to stand there with accountability and say that you're jealous of me, I am superior, we have to be that. We have to take control back. We have to stop being just consumers, where we own nothing, where we have nothing but what is given to us, where everything is dependent upon someone else. That's why we have to have cooperative economics with our own. It upsets a lot of people when we start talking about support black business and buy black and why has it got to be about color now? Let me put a few things in perspective. First and foremost, when you don't produce your own and don't have the ability to feed yourself, you're never going to feel a certain type of way about yourself. There's a psychological shift that happens when you be able to control the economics and the wealth in your own community. And because white people have that and they've always had that, they can't tell me what it that doesn't have weight, because they don't know what it feels like to not have it. So we have to be able to provide for our own. We have to be able to have our own table to have a seat at before we can ever try to have a seat at someone else's. That psychological shift has to happen, and we have to be able to say, you know what, we can take care of our own. There's a lot of power that comes with that. So we have to really, really begin to look at the accountability of what it takes to have that. Everything that we put into our bodies is going to have to be critically examined. Our body is our most important tool and weapon. And if you have not noticed, we are at war. They are killing us. And they are doing it in more ways than just in the streets. What you put into your body, whether it be spiritually, physically, your thoughts, your food, your music, your entertainment, that all creates the foundation of who you are. And we need to be building better warriors. They have taken control of your mind and your body. And we are going to have to step up and take it back by having the discipline and the accountability. That means it's time to put down the cheeseburgers. That means it's time to put down the fried chicken. And who am I to tell you what to eat? I'm a motherfucking queen. And it's the truth. Somebody needs to really start talking about the truth. Your body is a weapon. Your brain is a weapon. It is a tool. It is what we are going to need to free us collectively. So I'm going to need you to stop running it through the drive-thru and treat it like the royalty that it is, so that we can have some accountability when we go to the table and say we are the superior race. We are the superior people. I have to wonder what would happen if we all did mix. Why does it seem like such a bad thing? We got to have some accountability, black folks. We got to take care of our own. Nobody's going to do it for us. More later. There's a lot to it.